Hi folks, Jesse Simmons here with Dr. Andrew Iverson, who has a thriving clinic here in the Tacoma, Washington area, and today we're talking about vegetable broth. Dr. Iverson's book here in Nature's Diet Cookbook, you'll find this recipe on page 217. Dr. Iverson, take it away.
Thank you, Jesse. One of the most important foods besides juicing is to be able to teach people how to make their own broths, because the broths that are available in the store, in my opinion, are one of the most difficult things to find healthfully.
Okay.
Even if it says organic chicken broth or organic vegetable broth, you'll still see items on that ingredient list that you just don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
So we just did the video on juicing, and we had all that organic pulp left over. And look what I've done here is I've taken that pulp and we have put it inside this colander, which is like a steamer, okay? So that we can put water in there. There's filtered water.
It almost looks like a soup ready to eat.
It almost does, but the colors are going to change as the heat comes on. Okay, so what we want to do with this broth is bring it up to a simmer for about 2 hours. I'm going to add a few more things to it. This broth was originally called Bieler's broth by Dr. Henry Bieler. He was a doctor to the stars in the early 20s in Hollywood. And these peels, which are from yams, now the difference between a yam and a sweet potato, do you know what that is?
No.
Most people don't, because they have sweet potato fries and the fries are always orange, right? But those are actually yam fries.
Wow.
But it sounds better to call it sweet potato fries. So sweet potatoes look like potatoes, but they're longer. They're sweet, and so are yams sweet. They're both high in beta carotene.
Okay.
But they're super high in potassium. In fact, the potassium in potato skins is higher than just about any other food on the planet. Higher than bananas, and people think I'm going to get my food, my potassium from a banana, right? Also very high in potassium is coconut. So I put that in there, and then also we have a thriving garden that so many vegetables come off. You might see like these large zucchinis, and you're like, what am I going to do with that thing, right?
Yeah.
So what my mother does is she cuts these and puts them inside a seal meal, and then we freeze them, and we actually use this for part of our vegetable broth. So we're going to put that inside there too. It's just that simple, okay? So we fill it with water, we add our vegetables, and we're going to bring this to a boil.
Okay.
And we're going to come back in about 2 hours to show you what happens with this, okay?
How exciting.
All right, Jess. So we've been on the stovetop for about 2 hours now.
Yes, we have.
Okay, and let's see what we have. So inside this strainer pot, we pick this up.
Oh, the fragrances again.
It smells like cooked veggies, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, but let's see what we got here. So
Smell those squashes.
they've all had their opportunity to cook, and we're going to just mash it down a bit more just to get any little goodies we can out of there. All right. So we do that a little bit, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, the water's already taken quite a bit out of here. It's not like our bone broth where we're going to be using all of this.
Right. Now, this is a vegetable broth.
Right?
What are the benefits of it compared to, say, the chicken broth?
Let's just do this first.
Okay.
Let's strain this out. So as I strain this out, here I am. If you could take that other masher, that masher right there, and just mash on top.
Get all that out.
Yeah, and be
Okay.
careful, because it can leak on the edges, and that could burn kids if you have kids helping you.
Yeah.
So you see what we're having here is we're getting just those last little bits, kind of like just pressing it out. Okay, beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Okay, that's good. Let's just transfer it to this pot, and then let's show the camera what we have here. So we're going to transfer it into this jar. Hopefully I don't spill it all over.
Good, Doc.
I can do it. I can do it. A couple more ounces. Great. So what we have here is we have a potassium broth. Now, you asked what's the benefit versus a standard broth. So well, what if you're vegetarian? Okay, you have situations where you don't necessarily believe in eating animal products.
Right.
The other possibility is let's say that you're on a fast.
Okay.
And you want to transition out of the fast with something that is not too strongly caloric, yet it has a lot of the nutritional factors in it. In fact, people can fast on veggie broth alone. Wow. It's also great to cook your grains in or your beans in, but it's also a wonderful electrolyte. Remember why we called it potassium broth, because it's full of potassium. Bieler's broth, this was actually something that was utilized in his health retreats. So now this can actually, because you get such an abundance of potassium broth, you couldn't possibly use, I mean, that's enough for one soup right there, and we still have an entire pot. So we're basically going to have to put this in several, I like these really sturdy mason jars. they're great for this situation. And if you don't fill it up all the way, you can let it cool and then eventually put it in the freezer and freeze these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes it so that you can instantaneously pull out some broth, put it inside a meal, and be ready to go.
It's ready to cook.
And it's such a healthy way to utilize everything. Now, that is now going to go on the compost.
Okay, so there is some compost here.
We do get some compost, but look at the colors are gone, which means that we've
Taken all the
goodies out. And if you
nutrients,
tasted this, it would taste just awful.
Just blah.
Blah, like nothing left inside of it.
It's all here. Again, folks, that recipe, page 217 of Nature's Diet Cookbook. Dr. Andrew Iverson, the author of both this book and Nature's Diet, found on Amazon.com.
Thank you.